So think about this. It has been nearly 20 years since that mass shooting at Columbine High School. That was in 1999. This week's deadly massacre in Parkland, Florida, has a lot of us thinking, what 2 decades of basically routine mass killings in our workplaces, in our schools, in public event spaces, what that's done to our hearts, to our minds, to our spirits. We wanted to invite Joshua Magallanes. He's a therapist, he's a friend of the show, because really I wanted to ask you, what does this trauma do for people who are survivors? I mean, we now have generations of survivors in this country.
You know, it lasts with us and stays with us throughout our lifetime because it just, I think it just travels through the body and comes out in different ways. We're triggered, we become more hypervigilant, jumpy in many ways. If we think to individuals who are affected by something that is so direct and develop PTSD, I mean, the body is reacting to what went on in the body that day, and the lasting effects because we've either not given space to that individual to talk about, to share out, and so it is challenging for folks to move beyond. It can happen, but it takes time.
We look at the vigil and we think about sort of what happens after shootings, this sort of public grieving process, and then that goes away. But the people who survived and those who lost loved ones, they continue on with their lives. I've read that there are private Facebook groups among survivors of different mass shootings that are helping each other. Yeah. I mean, that seems to me like we are developing a support system because we have to.
Right. It's out of survival, I think, and when we do publicly share, and just yesterday on Facebook, I was watching some of the posts and people talking about gun control and we need to do something, and then you have people getting in arguments over it, and what you're doing is you're not helping it, right? You're really exacerbating the trauma of what has happened. And during times like this, truly, I think compassion is what is needed. Compassion with each other and listening. But really paying attention to the individuals who were directly affected and then those who are affected on the secondary level, and providing space for those individuals, and really asking them for what the needs are of themselves. What do they need?
Really briefly, we only have a couple of seconds
Sure.
left at this moment, but we think about what mental health things can we do to prevent this from happening, but we really need to have a conversation about what mental health things we need to do as a society to help those who are surviving and as the society as a whole, it seems to me.
Yeah. Part of it, I mean, we can help each other, right? Obviously, crisis counseling can help in the immediate interim. Long-term mental health counseling, individuals should, in my opinion, engage in. And then those that are supporting, because compassion fatigue can set in, and we can only give so much many times before we wear ourselves out. It is a lifelong journey, as you said, and people do go on and continue on with their lives, but they still have that reminder. We can think back to the Oklahoma bombing, we can think back to 9/11 and Columbine, and then now this, and it just, excuse me, it just gets more and more sad. But engaging in mental health services is definitely important to do.
Joshua Magallanes, thank you very much, therapist. Your website is joshuatherapy.com. More information about you and your services. Thank you for being here and helping us this morning.
Thank you.